Okay, peace, everybody. This is a rare um, visitation of me in this reading, but I figure I'd just show up for this moment. This is a special requested specific message. It is timeless, so be sure to check the description box to know if this is your message because you already be knowing these are messages that are confirmation for whatever is going on in your life, whatever you have inquired about. This is a message of confirmation, whether you wanted to know if somebody received the message, you know what's going on here because you will know. It's just that plain and simple. So I'm going to talk to you as if you know what's going on. And that just makes it easier for me. So the cosmic mother energy that we have here, it says, I don't know if you can see this. Entertaining all things that enrich my abundant state of consciousness, empowering aligned vision with inner truth and cosmic harmony. We also have healing that is here, which healing, ing, has to do with a process, right? Um, to heal, to make whole, wholly, the original state of being, right? So this card for me is the successful anchoring of this energy. Oftentimes we look at life and we think that, we are continuously in this healing state, but this is the healing is anchored and successful here, right? And it's through the process of entertaining. So as long as you're constantly in this energy of entertaining all things that enrich your abundant state of consciousness, empowering aligned vision with inner truth and cosmic harmony. How you think about yourself, how you feel about yourself, and how you understand that that energy also affects everything else, your reality, your neighbors, the earth, and the cosmos. That, the way that you feel and the way that you be matters. And so we have social cohesion here, part of society, the bonds that bring people together, fostering a sense of community and belonging. This includes shared values, trust, and cooperation, right? So that's an aspect of society and community, and um, is very much is giving. For me, I feel like it's on like an atomic level. It has to do with the genes expression. It has to do with the things that are awakening in the DNA through these everyday processes of the things that you entertain that affect your nervous system. And this is how you learn to react and respond. you know this is how we all do. I have been learning myself, you know the way that I'm deprogramming to certain things to allow myself to experience something different in life, and recognizing what a um, tightly woven process it has been to even just recognize the knot and then begin to, you know, untangle and remove the knot. Um, is serious. So this is about healing on a wide scale, but first it starts within the consciousness of one. So we're moving from the energy of, the masculine and the feminine, and seeing, the masculine and the feminine in the self, and recognizing that that also correlates to the match of the masculine and or feminine, that we are connected with in divine counterparts, in relationships in general, in reality creation. So, what we have shifted into is a new rhythm and vibration to the masculine and feminine uh, in union, and starting to see that collaborative energy as one site, um, and a process of receptivity and beingness and manifestation, manifesting and doing this, right? And then there's always the womb energy that holds, that gestates, and that labors and gives birth, right? That holds the entire process, that nourishes and nurtures the entire process, right? So from the receptivity side, there is an awakening that has happened. For me, what I understand with the receptivity side is an energy of, you know, the old cycle into the new cycle, and like this remembrance that, life is amazing. I'm supported, right? So it's like every day, like waking up, like, oh, life is actually amazing. Wow, everything is working for my highest good. Wow, there's opportunities coming for me, and it's starting to see life from a wondrous perspective, that you're seeing things clearly enough as it aligns for you, right? There's like this 2020 vision that isn't necessarily perfect vision, right? But it doesn't have to be perfect. It's wabi sabi, it is seeing the beauty in the imperfections. I heard the song, The Makings of You. Gladys Knight, I think she sang that song. So did, I think, Curtis Mayfield, but the expressions of you, the makings of you, right? Um, that's very important. So this is a balanced slate energy, the upgraded version of self, now awakened from the subconscious sleep into the awakened state. And things feeling leveled enough now where, you know, uh, empowered action is activating and remembering the wisdom of the body's consciousness, right? So the earthly ancestral energy that gets to be refined through your individual life now, right? Because we all were born from our ancestors and carry that memory within our bodies and our DNA, yet we have an individualized expression of it, right? Through our uniqueness, the way that you look today, the way that I look today, not just physically, but, from how we were cultivated, and so um, there's opportunities for togetherness, positive physical investments, cultivating joy and abundance. It says specifically aligned with authentic vibration, right? So that's been cultivated through how you've been able to still view life and still been able to return to the center of who you are and express from that place, right? And your DNA, I said reality creation, harmony of emotions and insight. Um, and so this reading is always, my readings are always going to be cosmically aligned. And so then on the manifesting and doing this side, there is this energy of parenting, right? Mothers and fathers, also not just parenting your children, but also parenting, reparenting yourself, your inner child, um, and how that starts to show up in your reality for you. How, you know, understanding that what you are building in your life and what you are doing is to be able to allow what is developing emotionally, your children, your inner children, the structure, your body, um, however many levels this starts to show up, the structure, right? The man that provides for his children is not only providing for his children because he has the money and that's his role, it's also because He is creating a safe space where they can feel safe enough to become themselves. They can go through the roller coasters of humanity and emotions and still hit the mark on their developmental phases so that the soul is able to expand and experience the fullness of why it came here, right? So that's for the self, and that's also for um, the children. And then there's an ancient piece to this as well that is wise, that understands the balance of the cosmos and the earth, through the remembering, through the receptivity and the embodiment, and now is more hands on with the earth and able to, do this, go here, create this, and make things happen. So, and then of course, the womb is always a place in which everything is birthed because, life will continue to mirror life, and so everything comes from the womb space. So, from my book, Fruit of the Womb, we have the card Ritual is Living. And so, this ritual in my book is spelled Richual. And it says, every step is a spell, every breath is an offering. You are the altar and the architect. And so, often when people think about spells, they think like, somebody's doing magic or something like that. This talks about how magical your everyday is, from your breath to when you brush your teeth, you wash your face, you do your dishes, you cook with love, you take care of your body, you do what you love to do, on a everyday basis. This is getting to know your systems. This is getting to know, what lights you up, what you actually thrive from outside of external systems is what you're willing to do every day. And so it's bringing an importance and a remembrance to that. So, page 77, this is from my book, Fruit of the Womb, which this is the proof copy, but I love this book so much. And this is chapter 6, quote, Ritual living as cosmic creators. Ritual lives through presence. It flows through breath, intention, and how we move in rhythm with what we value. The divine counterpart path reveals that even the simplest actions, nourishing the body, speaking with care, resting in joy, carry energetic meaning. Living in alignment becomes the offering. This is inner wealth. This is new currency. Okay. Um, it continues. The supernova mirror cosmic memory in earth form. Those walking the divine counterpart path carry the essence of supernovas, ancient celestial bodies made of gravity, heat, pressure, and plasma. Just as stars collapse or evolve based on their energetic balance, living beings experience internal pressure from people, places, and memories that reveal how we transform and expand. Gravity mirrors external expectations and ancestral burdens. Plasma reflects the vitality moving through our blood, passion, soul fire, and spiritual life force. Iron, both in our blood and at the core of the star, symbolizes the alchemical center where transformation initiates. The inner force builds. When the inner force builds, rather than be consumed, we transmute. We are the ancestors return, stabilizing star-like energy in physical form through remembrance, creation, and healing. So at the end of the day, end quote. That's from my book, Fruit of the Womb. And so at the end of the day, it is scientifically proven that we are stardust. We are also of the earth, carbonated beings. Um, these memories flow within us. That's why we have wars, we make love, we have children, we create, we do amazing things through the perspective of the brain, the waters as memory in our body and our blood, and how we interpret it and we create it on the earth stage. And so through our experiences and how throughout generations we have learned that experience to be, there has been, you know, what we now live in as society and the state of, you know, people in society that are awakening to, you know, life is actually a beautiful thing. It's just been how we've interpreted from my understanding of life through my cosmic lens, the supernova energy and how, you know, people have wanted to experience that supernova energy in their own human experience. So, from the receptivity side, we do have the card of supernova that came out, which talks about there's two different types of supernovas, right? It's a death of a star, yet at the same time, there's two different types of supernovas. There's the one that is, you know, from longevity, right? Old age. And there's the one that is an over absorption of a stellar companion, right? So for me, this card is an embodiment card, and it's a focus of understanding those pressures that were mentioned in the book and understanding the delicate balance and the ingredients of you in order to have longevity, because why not, right? And so you know, I even think about childbirth as a supernova event too. So this can be many different things in life. This can be the transition of life. This can show up on many different levels in our society, in your experience, in the experiences of people around you, right? So at the end of this day, this is a very, very high charged energy. Sometimes this can even talk about supernova energy that is now reaching the planet, you know, because it could be light years away, something that is actually happening currently. And this cosmic support, right? Because, you know, the stardust that comes from the cosmos is cosmic support because it is a part of the makings of life here on this planet and many others. And so, how we are viewing life is how we receive it, and from that perspective, is how we create. So, that is, you know, a remembrance that is a big to do because, you know, I think that, you know, for myself, I wasn't taught that way. You know, I was taught very differently. So these are things that I've been remembering. So there's something significant that could be about Thursday. Again, these readings has been showing like people meeting about you or you meeting with people. All of the things that you have experienced in your life have prepared you for this. Um, the space that you are moving into and the people that you are connecting with, you know, whether this be because it talks about social cohesion, right? These could be groups of community, platonic, romantic, divine counterpart, familiar. Um, you know, these are people, this is a person that, you know, is reverent about you because they do get the whole picture, right? And so your well being is important because the body, you know, that is, you know, the physical expression of the well being is, you know, refining the ancestral experience in this unique incarnation and individuation of life. So it says here, real love is residual income. Our love keeps paying dividends in joy, music, wealth, and shared creation. The more we open, the more we manifest. So there is support here. Um, things that may seem very miraculous. And this is a part of that wisdom that comes from the understanding of the body consciousness that I'm talking about, being grounded specifically for the person and the persons that this resonates with. Speaking things into existence. And so I feel like the love is what is new, and by the love continuing to blossom, because again, this is from the collective, the union perspective, seeing things, you have a teammate. This person is on my side. These people are on my side. This is an enriching space that I've cultivated. So now we see things together, and now, you know, the more things actually start to take place on the physical realm. The dividends and joy, music, wealth, shared creation, the things that bring joy and healing, those opportunities of togetherness, positive physical investments, cultivating joy and abundance, right? So, this is the part that is the healing that is being received cosmically, that is being upgraded and remembered, and then now on the doing manifesting side, where I talk more about, the providing energy that is holding space for the inner experience to continue to expand, along with the wisdom of how to actually move and shake and do, um, that's in alignment with all of this remembrance, right? And this is something that money doesn't buy, right? This is activation. This is inheritance. This is rich wisdom of ancient stars through mastery of your own internal landscape and your own blueprint. Therefore, right? So we have the energy, another embodiment energy of, this is more, the supernova was more fiery spark, and this one is more watery, right? So this is water, has to do with the memory, right? And it is very much the wisdom, the amniotic water. And this talks about you or someone, you're thinking about, or someone that you may see in your environment, on your TV screen, in the news, in society, in the world. Um, there's this release, which I have here as a grantor of debt remission. So it's kind of like a play on words of, the light body. So this is energetic, yet it is also trickling down into the physical, right? So this again is this mastery of light body expansion, right? So the light body is the energetic body. So this is affected by this entertaining the things that enrich your state of consciousness. What are you eating? What are you feeding your nervous system? How are you thinking about yourself, about life, about your situations? How do you feel about yourself? How do you feel about, life, situations, etc., etc., right? And then, the heart lighter than the feather starting to lift the load of those heaviness and those burdens, oftentimes that have dealt with a lot of programming, right? So this talks about this is happening via nurturing the internal health, ancestral and subconscious mind influence, right? So the things that often run in the background, like if you had your phone on and the battery is dying because you have all these other programs running on the background that you don't know is actually affecting your experience of viewing what you want to see, right? So it's the same kind of thing. So this talks about elevating beyond the inherited and early developed programming. This could be, you as a politician for your family, for your lineage, for your community, right? This could be someone who is in politics. It doesn't matter. This is someone who holds that politician energy, who understands the social cohesion, right? The the shared values, trust, and cooperation of a peoples that them they themselves is guided by the inherited internal wisdom of this energy here and their earthly experience, right? So they're speaking from what they've been through and what they've also inherited and refined, and through that perception, sharing that with others, whether that be your gifts, your art, your speech, whatever profession that you are in, however you show up in life, right? This is healing and clearing the way for yourself and others because the self is always important when it comes to healing. In astrology, we always talk about the sixth house and how the sixth house has to do with co-workers and subordinates and enemies and all these different things, when the sixth house is really supposed to be about understanding how you are in service to yourself, what actually fuels you, your health, how you take care of yourself in order for you to then go into the seventh house and then be available to make uh, sound agreements, contracts, relationships, and in society that has all been intertwined into your sixth house. So that's why coworkers become family. People get sick from overworking, and so this is understanding these type of energies. So we have sign synchronicities activated. So seeing angel numbers, 333, 222, 444, 1111. A lot of this is happening. This is just, you know, angel numbers, the subconscious mind letting you know that you are on the right track. Synchronicities has to do with timing and alignment. So yes, keep putting one foot in front of the other. Continue. You're on the right track. Good work. We're encouraging you, right? And so this has to do also with, the beauty that you are inside beginning to express itself in your physical life. So wherever um, your north node may be is significant to you because through the refinement of your body consciousness, now you're moving into your north node, which has to do with the expansion now, where you get to actually expand. So you've refined the energy that you've inherited, and through your body, you've refined it. So now that ancestral fractal line energy is moving with you um, rather than against you or subconsciously operating in the background, So this is still a process though, because it is the continuation of you entertaining all things that enrich your abundant state of consciousness, empowering aligned vision. So this is you feeding that, right? And so this is the recognition of you with these angel numbers also showing that your inner and outer are communicating and you are in an honest state of being with yourself. So knowing your north node, whether you follow tropical astrology or sidereal astrology, this is how this new wealth is showing up for you, and the collective Rahu North Node as well. And so, these meetings that are being had about you, and or around you, this is opening way for respectful communication. That horn right there. So that always for me is sign and synchronicity, angelic communication, that yes, that is accurate. And so, this could also just be about your inner and outer communicating the way that it's supposed to, right? That honors your experience, and also how that's showing up on the physical world, just like that horn just showed up. So we have power couple mode, right? Star seeds getting together, locked in divine counterparts, stronger than the sum of their parts, creativity, success, lucrative endeavors, lifestyle upgrades. But this is because of, you know, you moving in heart consciousness, remembering that ancient wisdom, you know. And so all the things that you have focused on to entertain is what is growing and elevating, right? So multiple aspects of yourself, the goals that you have set for yourself, the ones that you have accomplished, the ones that are still within your aura, you know. This shows, this is acknowledging you. This is acknowledging you. Divine masculine, divine feminine, right? And so this is, how can I say it? I really feel like this is like the energy of like the cosmos, is like this is how things actually work. It says every unspoken thank you, every underpaid moment, every quiet betrayal is all returning now, multiplied as overflow, right? Through all the avenues that you have created, it says cosmic payback, womb led reversal, where things look magical to an outsider, yet they don't necessarily understand the process of that refinement of seeing the knot and taking the time to untangle it, so that the energy flows, so that there is a social cohesion and a healing is doing your part. And this is due to how you've lived every day. So I feel like, let me see, I'll get one of these. So many horns, signs, and synchronicities. Just to close this. I didn't do too bad. Yeah. Yeah, so I feel like this message, it did exactly what it was supposed to do. That the message was received. And so the people, the persons who see this message, they know that the message is received, and it reached who it was supposed to reach, and it did what it was supposed to do. So for that, we give thanks. And so it is.